Hello students, welcome back to Education on Cloud. So we have completed almost 6 chapters by now in this 10th portions. So now the next new chapter is going to be coordinate geometry. So as you are aware of, first let's see a bit of theory part, then we will come to question and answer section. So first and foremost, few points for you to understand. The distance of a point y, it is called as x coordinate. By now everyone after completing actual classes you have to be aware of it. So y axis is called as x ordinate and x axis is called as y coordinate or abscissa. See, this y axis is also called as abscissa and this x axis is also called as ordinate. But if you can observe, x axis is y ordinate and y axis is x ordinate. Clear? The ordinate of the point x axis are of the form. See, whenever in questions these two things will be utilized. So whenever they say that the coordinates of a point on x axis, then it is going to be of a form x comma 0. If it is of the format of y axis, then it is going to be 0 comma y. Clear? See, y is it so? It is very basic because x axis is going to be on a 0 point and y is going to be somewhere lying over here. So that is the reason. Clear? So the first and foremost, first let's look into the distance formula. The distance between any 2 points. Let's consider A is equal to x1 comma y1 and B is equal to x2 comma y2. Then the formula is being given as AB is equal to within the square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Right. See, the distance formula, given any 2 points, you just have to consider this and just substitute in the formula. Clear? Or AB is equal to difference of abscissa the whole square plus difference of ordinates the whole square. It is nothing but the same thing they have written over here in a statement format. Clear? Next, distance of a point from origin. Right. So what is the formula it is going to be? From origin O, it is going to be, see, point x comma y from origin O. From origin O, if you have to find it out, then OP is going to be as within the root x square plus y square. Why is it so? Because 1 is going to be equal to 0. Then directly you can consider this formula, which is going to be within the square roots x square plus y square. Clear? So problems based on geometrical figure, if at all if it is a geometrical figure given, they will be given certain vertices for you and you just have to find out. They will just ask, prove that if the vertices given are going to form a parallelogram, or prove that it is going to form a rectangle or a rhombus, anything. So parallelogram, prove that the opposite sides are equal. For parallelogram, only opposite sides are going to be equal. Rectangle, opposite sides are equal and diagonals are also equal. See, what is the difference between parallelogram and a rectangle? Parallelogram but not rectangle, prove that opposite sides are equal and diagonals are not equal. See, for rectangle the only thing is even all the sides also has to be equal as well as the diagonals also has to be equal. All the sides I mean as opposite sides. So in rectangle opposite sides also has to be equal as well as diagonals also should be equal. But when it comes to parallelogram, it is just that opposite sides has to be equal. Parallelogram but not rectangle, it is like opposite sides has to be equal. But then the diagonals, it is diagonals is not going to be equal. And if you note, it is and, it is not or condition. Both of it has to satisfy. Only if both of the conditions satisfy, it is called as a rectangle. If not, see, if it is just if it is going to satisfy as opposite sides, but it is but the diagonals are not equal, it is not at all a rectangle because it goes to the parallelogram conditions. Clear? Next question, as I said you, if at all if it is a square or rhombus, again over here also prove that the 4 sides are equal. For rhombus, suppose if it is a square, first prove that all 4 sides are equal as well as and diagonals are also equal, just like the parallelogram and rectangle. So rectangle will take a place of square will take a place of rectangle as well as rhombus will take a place of parallelogram. Right, rhombus but not square. So rhombus but not square, all sides has to be equal but the diagonals are not equal. Clear? So isosceles triangle, if any two sides are equal, it is an isosceles triangle. Equilateral triangle, all the sides has to be equal. And right angle, prove that the sides satisfy Pythagoras theorem, which we are aware of. Hypotenuse square is equal to square of other two sides. Clear? So the next thing comes the section formula. What was the first formula which we learned? It was distance formula, which was within the square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So you have very little formulas in this chapter, but then only the formulas is what it is going to take an important role. So section formula, the coordinates of the point x comma y, which divides the line segment joining the points A and B internally in the ratio. So over here they have given the ratio as m1 m2. If you are comfortable with taking m is to n, it is up to you. Whatever you consider over here, that is what it is going to reflect in the formula. Suppose if I consider m is to n, my formula is going to be mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n, comma m1 y2 plus ny1 divided by m plus n. That is what your formula is going to be. Whatever ratio you consider, that is how it is going to reflect. Clear? This is also this is known as section formula. Formula is very simple. This m and m1 and m2 is what usually it makes you confuse. So that is the reason usually take m is to n. So the formula is going to be mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n. First write both of it the denominator. Clear? Once you write both of it the denominator, in both the places write m plus n and leave some gap. So over here x2 x1 and over here y2 y1. Clear? It is very simple formula. If you understand it, you will never forget it. The next formula is going to be midpoint formula. Again over here also, when the point is being given, you have to find out the coordinate of the point P, which we usually would be considered as x comma y, which is the midpoint of the line segment. Given any 2 points, you have to find out the midpoint basically. So the formula is going to be just the average of it, that is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So these were the two formulas which you had to learn. Next comes the area of triangle, and this is something like most of the question, usually 1 or 2 questions will be there in your exams. So first and foremost, understanding the formula is not necessary for us. Only just how to write the formula is what we will learn, because how to derive the formula and all we have completed that in our actual classes. Since this is just revision, we'll just quickly run through. So now if A, B and C are the vertices of triangle ABC, then area of the triangle ABC is given by what? So it is nothing but this formula is what you have to write. But just looking at the formula, it just freaks you out. So how do we understand this formula, or how can we remember the formula? See, the numbers in the cyclic order will be 1, 2 and 3. Right, after 1 comes 2, 2, 3 and again after 3 comes 1. Right, once we are aware of it, this formula is going to be very easy for us. So it is going to be x comma y format. Right, x comma y is what we have to get something in the end. So now over here, first and foremost, you have to first consider x1. Start from one number. So x1, once you take x, see, usually it is going to be 3x is what you will be having and 3y is what you will be having, right? So first only x we will take outside the bracket, and whatever y is there, we'll consider it inside the bracket. So now x1, after x1 comes 2 and then comes 3, right? x1, after x1 comes 2 and 3. If you can observe in all these 3, none of the number is repeated. That is not anywhere that is 1 comma 1 is there or 2 is being repeated, nothing. It is also in a cyclic format. 1, 2 and 3. 2, 3, 1. 3, 1, 2. Right, agreed. So now again here it starts, see, x1, then start with x2. x2 is done, start with x3. So it is very simple. Start from x1, then 1 is done, y2 and y3. y2 minus y3 plus x2. First you have already considered x1, the next one is going to be x2. So x2, you have to, after x2 it is going to be the 3. So y3 minus y1. Then x2 is something which we have already considered, so x3 is what you have to start. After 3 comes 1 and then comes 2. So the same understanding is given over here, x1, y2 over here. It's just for you to see. It might not be comfortable, but just follow the cyclic order. Clear? Find the number of products of the numbers at the end of the line pointing downwards, and then subtract the sum of products and numbers at the end of the line pointing upwards. Multiply the difference. So over here, multiply the difference 1 upon 2. So over here also the area, it is just the area formula only, but you have to multiply. Usually this formula is not being used, but we'll see when we are solving few questions if we just come across that. Clear? So let's start with few question and answers. So now if area of a quadrilateral is 0, so then what are the 4 points are going to be? So we will see how exactly it is going to be 0 also. The usual answer is going to be collinear. Clear? Over here, quadrilateral, whenever the area is going to be equal to 0, it is going to be a collinear. Clear? Next question, on which axis point 4 comma 0 lie? So over here, if you can observe, there have been given only one int, it is 4 comma 0. So if you just go back to our theory part, we just came across these two things. One was x comma 0 and other was y comma 0. So the points is what they have given. You have to find out on which axis it is going to fall. So x comma 4 is as equal as 4 comma 0. So this is in the format, this is falling on x axis. Therefore the option we have to choose is going to be x axis. Clear? So x-axis, y-axis both, and none of these is what they have given. So minus 4 comma 0 is going to fall on x-axis. Suppose the same question would have been 0 comma minus 4, then your answer would have been y-axis. Clear? Next question. The abscissa of every point on y-axis. See, usually this type question comes. It is very simple. The abscissa of every point on y-axis. See, on y-axis it is going to be equal to 0. That is, abscissa on y-axis, ordinate of x-axis is also equal to 0. Do not get confused. Abscissa of x-axis also they might ask. But abscissa of y-axis is going to be equal to 0. Ordinate of x-axis is what is going to be equal to 0. Abscissa y and ordinate x. So now the other question, something which is very similar. The relation between x and y, if points given are in collinear, the area is going to be what? See, the area formula whichever you just learned using the cyclic format, you have to just form the formula. So no, over there, area of triangle is going to be equal to 0 if the given points, if they say, are going to be equal to collinear. So the answer for this also is going to be equal to 0. Clear? Next question. Determine if points given are collinear. See, over here they have said you that it is going to be collinear. So here using distance formula, that was for triangle, but nowhere they have specified over here area of triangle are collinear. So how do we proceed with this? So it is just as equal as a line, the points given, whatever the points they have given, it is just as simple as we have to say it is going to fall on a line. Even the same question can be framed, just rather than the word collinear, they can replace, find out if it is going to fall on a line. So what does that mean? So it is nothing but AB plus BC. AB plus BC is equal to AC. If so AB plus BC, so this AB plus BC, if it is equal to AC, then we can tell that it is going to fall on a line. If it is not equal, we cannot tell it is a collinear. First use this distance formula, that is within the square root x2 plus x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So I will consider over here as A, B and C. So again it would be x1 y1, x2 y2 and x3 y3. Right. Rather than x3 y3, it is going to be, whenever the points you consider, it is going to get altered. Right. First, when I am considering A and B, this is what the points I will be having. Use distance formula. So step by step I am not teaching you directly. Just write the formula once, distance formula, and then just start solving for it. So AB, it is going to be equal to root 5, BC it is going to be within the root 212, and AC is going to be within the root 265. If you can see over here, AB plus BC, even if I add both of it, it is not equal. Therefore, I can conclude that the points given, the points are not collinear. Clear? Next question. Prove that the points and points given taken in order of a rhombus. So over here you have to prove that it is going to be a rhombus. So we will go one step ahead after proving it is a rhombus. So what was the thing which we had learned over there? So to prove that it is a rhombus, if we show that all sides are equal, that is sufficient for us. So now same over here also. First I will consider this as A, B, C and D. When I am considering AB, it is going to be x1, y1, x2, y2. Apply distance formula within the root x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So when you are substituting for that, you will be getting root 26, and similarly for BC, CD and DA, for everything you will be getting 26. So over here your answer ends. Therefore you can write, since all the sides are equal, it is a rhombus. But if I just add rhombus but not square. Suppose if this is being added in the question, you have to first solve for the sides as well, and you have to go one more step ahead, that is you have to find out the diagonals also. To find out the diagonals, it is going to be AC and BD. Two diagonals are going to be AC and BD. So consider this AC as your distance, use distance formula x1, y1, x2, y2 is what you will be having. So for AC, it is going to be root 34. Just like the diagonal I found out for AC, I have to find out for another diagonal, which is BD. For diagonal BD, if I substitute the values, I will be having a as within the root 72. So now once I've got this, see over here the answer ends and it is going to have a rhombus. But the diagonals are unequal. Therefore we can tell that rhombus but not square. Clear? Next question. Find coordinate points which divide the line segment joining the points in 4 equal parts. So 4 equal parts over here, if you can observe 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you have to find out the coordinate points which divide the line segment. So first and foremost, how is it we will be proceeding? Point A, point B, just while I am dividing, I will consider the points as P, Q and R. So first and foremost, given from all these points, if you can observe, this Q is going to be the midpoint of this line. Agreed. So Q is the midpoint of the line AB. So given that, I have to find, I can easily first find out from the given information, the first and foremost thing I can find out is point Q. So ordinate of Q is going to be equal to, use distance formula, x1 plus x2 upon 2, y1 plus y2 upon 2. That gives you the point as minus 1 comma 4. So this is going to be equal to minus 1 comma 4. Similarly, next you have to find out P and R as well. How do you do that? So now P is going to be the midpoint of AQ. Agreed. P is going to be the midpoint of AQ and R is going to be the midpoint of Q and B. First find out for Q. Once you find out for Q, now then consider this AQ as a line segment, and then P is going to be the midpoint of it and R is going to be the midpoint of QB. You already have the point Q also, so you can easily use the midpoint formula only and you can find out. Finding the points is what they have had asked for. Coordinate of P, Q and R we have found out. Just apply the formula and you will be getting these answers. Clear? Next question. In what ratio is line segment joining the points divide by y-axis? So we came across the theory also, we came across one marker question also. So using that application is what we have to solve now. So how do I do that? First and foremost, I have 2 points given, that I will consider it as A and B. Then I have just an information given that it is going to be divided by y-axis. If it is divided by y-axis, my point is going to be 0, y. This is the main whole crux of the question. Clear. Once I consider this point 0 comma y, and the ratio I can assume it as any ratio. So I will consider it as x is to 1. So x is to 1 is the ratio. The point is going to be p0 comma y, and then a is been given and b is also given. Now you can go and apply your section formula. Once you apply your section formula, and elaborate, you will be getting 3k minus 2 divided by k plus 1 comma 7k minus 3 divided by k plus 1. So over here we had considered 0 comma y. So this whole thing is equal to 0 and this whole thing is equal to y, right? But I just have to find out the ratio. So considering this is of no much use for me. So I will just consider this first part and I will just find out the value of k. So 3k minus 2 divided by k plus 1 is equal to 0. So when I equate for it, I will be getting the value of k as 2 upon 3. Therefore I can write it in the ratio of 2 is to 3, and the ratio is what they had asked. I just found out the ratio to be 2 is to 3. Here, next question. For what value of p are the points given are collinear? So over here, if you can observe the previous question also, they had not specified if it is area. Here they had specified it is area. So using the area of a triangle formula is what you have to go ahead and solve for it. Consider points A, B and C, x1, y1, x2, y2, x3 and y3. Once you're aware of the points, first and foremost write the formula clearly without any mistakes. Just cross verify 1, 2, 3 and then x1 into y2 minus y3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2. It is in the cyclic format. Just observe for the signs if you have written correctly. Then you can just easily substitute the values, and once you substitute the values, you have to find out p, and p is somewhere which is lying over here. So when I solve for this and substitute, I will be getting the value of p is equal to 5. Clear? For what value of p? So for the value of p is going to be equal to 5. Clear? Next question. Find third vertex of triangle if two of the vertices are 1, 2 and 3, 5 and the centroid is at the origin. So this is another formula. Centroid is at origin. It is nothing but x1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 3 comma y1 plus y2 plus y3 divided by 3. So the centroid is one of the other formula. If you have to find out the vertex of the other given one, let's first consider. We are not aware of what it is going to be. So I will consider it as x comma y. Once I have considered that, I already have two values, that is 1 comma 2 and 3 comma 5. So only considering x, it is going to be 1 plus 3, and I have no idea what is going to be my third vertex. So I'll consider it as x. Similarly over here y. So when I just solve for that, for this, it is going to be x plus 4 divided by 3 is equal to 0. So 3 is going to be equal to 0. When you just multiply, it is going to get equal to 0. X plus 4 is equal to 0 is what you will be getting. Therefore x is equal to minus 4. Similarly y is equal to minus 7. Therefore you had to find out the vertex. Vertex you had considered it as x comma y. The value of x is minus 4, value of y is minus 7. Here, next question. Check whether the vertices are isosceles triangle. So for finding the isosceles triangle, the given points would be given. So A, B and C. Use distance formula, apply distance formula, first find out for AB, then BC and as well as AC. Whenever at least minimum two sides are going to be equal, whenever two distances are going to be equal, then you can just tell and conclude that yes, it is going to form, the vertices are going to form a isosceles triangle. Clear? Find the coordinates of the point which divides the join of minus 1 comma 3 and 4 comma minus 3 in the ratio 2 is to 3. So very simple question. We have come across already how to find out k and the ratio, but over here ratio also has been given and the points also have been given. It is nothing but just you have to simplify the formula. So over here if you can observe, m is to n, I have considered it as 2 is to 3, and the rest it is going to be x1, y1, x2, y2. So when I'm just applying in the formula, it becomes very easy for me. It is just nothing but if I consider m1 and m2, it is just going to confuse me. So I'll consider it as m plus n. So once you write the formula, substitute the values, you will be easily getting the coordinates of the point. Clear? So next question, find coordinates of point A where AB is diameter of a circle whose center is being given and also B is also given. So when you consider a circle and there is a point, usually you will be having a diameter. Only if you consider this portion of it, it is radius. If you consider the complete part, it is going to be the diameter. So they have given AB is diameter. So this is going to be AB. And the diameter of the center is also given, which is going to be 2 comma minus 3, and B is given. So basically this point is given and this point is given. So it is nothing but you have to find out what is the point A, right? How do I do that? See, it is nothing but you have to use the section formula only. A, first I will be considering it as x comma y. So I already know what is the what is my diameter. So that is going to be 2 comma minus 3, which is nothing but which used to be outside. So if this is my formula, this value I already have. So that value when I'm considering, when I'm just apply the formula in this format is what I will be getting. So now this is going to be equal to 2 and this whole part is going to be equal to minus 3. So when I solve for that, I will be getting the values of x and y. So x plus 1 is equal to 4 is what we'll be getting. Therefore x is equal to 1. If it's shifted to the other side, it is 3. Similarly, y is equal to 10. You had to find out the value. You had to find out. So when you solve for this, it was correct that you will be getting minus 10. So minus 10. So A, the coordinates of point is going to be 3 comma minus 10. 4 plus y is equal to minus 3. When you cross multiply, 4 plus y is equal to minus 6. So when you consider this, the negative y is equal to negative 10. Clear? Next question. You have to find out the area. So this is for your practice. Just apply the formula. Be aware of the formula. Then apply the points x1, y1, x2, y2. And x3, y3. This type of question obviously comes. That is the reason I have just given you for a practice. So when you solve for it, the answer you have to get is going to be 21 upon 2 square units. Writing in the units is also important. Clear? Next question. So from here, 3-marker question we'll see. Quickly, we will not solve each and every step, but we'll just understand how to solve this basically. So prove that diagonals of a rectangle bisect each other and are equal. So once we consider this ABCD as a triangle, so it is they have not given you the vertices or anything. So you are free to assume whatever vertices you wish for. So A, I have considered it as 0 comma 0. So when I am just plotting it on a graph, 0 comma 0 starts from here. That is the reason it starts from here. Then A comma 0, B is going to be A comma 0. And C is going to be A comma B and D is going to be equal to A comma B. The value of A and B may vary, or you can consider this as B comma A. Clear? Then once you find out that, then you have to, what is it they had even asked you for? You have to prove that diagonals bisect each other and are equal. First and foremost, to prove that, first consider AC and BD. Why AC and BD? Those are my diagonals, that is AC and BD. These are my diagonals. First and foremost, using the distance formula, if I just have to find out both the values, I will be getting the answer, the solution, the distance finally as within the root x square plus b square. The same thing you will be getting for AC as well as BD. Clear? The next thing they have said is you have to show that it is going to bisect. It is as equal as you have to find out the midpoint of the diagonals. So midpoint of diagonals AC and BD. Suppose if you consider this diagonal midpoint as O, you have to find out, see, O is going to be the midpoint of AC. Similarly, O is the midpoint of BD. That is what you have to find out. What the values is what you will be getting. Apply midpoint formula. You will be getting A upon 2 comma B upon 2. The same thing you will be getting for both of it. Then once you are aware of it, then, it is very evident that midpoint of AC is equal to midpoint of BC. So whatever they have asked, we have shown that in calculation wise. Here the only crux of it is they have not given you the vertices. You have to assume vertices. When you are assuming vertices, let that be like very clear. See, a comma 0 comma 0 is what I have considered. For b it is a comma 0, so it is going to fall on a line. That is how you just have to think before you write the vertices and then solve for it.